Hello, Captains. This is the Doctor, and this is another video on Star Trek Online. Today, I am bringing you some news. This is a news update. We're going to go to the Star Trek Online news page, as you can see in front of you, and we're going to check out what is new coming in Season 11.5. As of this recording, Season 11.5 is only 2 days away. It is on April 12th. So I apologize, first of all, for not bringing you this news earlier. Been very busy, and I just haven't been able to do it yet. But here we are a couple of days away. There will probably be more news on Monday, more news, of course, on Tuesday, as the season is officially released. So if there are new things, I will make more videos about that until the release. Also, expect that I will cover the release fully once it's out. I will play the new episode. I will see what we can do inside the game. Play the new patrols, and not patrols, but the red alerts is what they're called. And all the other new things that we can do inside the game, I will take a look at once they're released. So let's go over what has been announced so far for 11.5. Now, typically these half seasons are not very large. You don't get a whole lot of content with these half seasons, but this one, it seems to be that we are getting a quite bit of updates for the game. There's quite a bit of updates here. There are more things than I expected, and maybe even some more things coming we don't know about. So I'm actually a little surprised at the number of things that we are getting for season 11.5. Let's quickly go through them. Star Trek 11.5 coming April 12th. Red Alert, Captains. We're pleased to announce Season 11.5, our mid-season update, will launch on April 12th. The latest update begins with a brand new featured episode titled Temporal Front, where players must prevent Nakul temporal agents from destroying the Federation. Season 11.5 also brings a complete overhaul to the skill system, plus other new gameplay updates, including the Strategist secondary specialization, Romulan Admiralty campaign, and the Nakul red alerts. That's a lot for a half-season update, I'm going to say. There's a lot here. In a previous video, I did watch this Temporal Front trailer. I recommend to go watch that trailer. It's on the webpage here. You can watch it, or on my channel. It is a very quick and short introduction to Temporal Front and what we can expect. This big, huge, I don't know what to call this right now, base, star base, ship base, carrier, whatever is featured in it. Looks to be something incredible. So I can't wait to see what that turns out to be. Here's an overview of some of the new stuff, but note that these 4 things listed here is not all of it. This is some of it. So the first one of the first big updates that everybody is debating about and trying to figure out if it's a good move or not is this skill system revamp. I did a preview on this skill system revamp because they've had it up on Tribble for a while. So you can go watch that video. I'll put a link in the description. But that will give you a preview of what you can expect when of this skill system revamp coming out. But basically, our skill system is going to change to completely different. Instead of having the way where, I don't know how to explain it, how they had kind of like little bars that you had to increase the skill level in, and you had to increase from green to yellow to red, and that was a little confusing for people. Now it's more like push button. It's more like a tree system. It's how the specialty system is set up right now, and it's kind of like a skill system tree, and you'll see it when you launch it for the first time. Everybody should get a free token, by the way, to change their skills. So I mean, it'll reset on you. Just know when you log in on April 12th, the first thing you should do is go set up your skills, because you're not going to have any skills. Don't just go into combat, because you're not going to have any skills yet. You'll be very weak. So you need to set your skills, and you will have the ability to do that for free for the first time. Alright, gameplay updates for Season 11.5 introduce both new and revised systems designed to create a more fluid experience in Star Trek Online. This includes a skill system revamp aimed at making the process of leveling up much more rewarding, and progressing your character's skill easier to understand. With this update, skills progression will be in a streamlined, easy-to-use interface that includes more detailed descriptions as well as better explanations for many combat mechanics. And what I've noticed about this skill system revamp is that it is more streamlined. They have combined a lot of skills into one thing, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it does simplify it, and I think it needed some simplifying. So I'm okay with this, and I'm looking forward to using it myself and figuring it out. I think what most people are scared about is they just don't know what builds will work yet, because nobody's really used the system in actual, hardcore combat yet. People don't know what the best build is going to be for it, so they're scared of that change. Well, you just have to figure it out. You're going to have to try some different things and see what works. That's the way it goes. But I think it's a good thing. I think the simplification is helpful in this game, especially when it comes to the skill system. I've always thought it was a little convoluted and harder to understand. So hopefully that will get cleared up, and of course over time people will figure it out. So just give it time. Just give it time. Embrace the change. There is, if you click on the link, it will take you to this tab here where you can read all about the skill system revamp. I've already gone over this, I think, in a previous video, but if I haven't, then feel free to come to the Star Trek Online webpage and click on that link and then read about it yourself, because there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to read it today because there is a ton of information, as you can see, but it really does explain it well and how it works. So if you're confused or worried you might not understand it, come read this page, Skill System Revamp, and you will be a little more educated on it then. All right, moving down the list here, we have the Strategist Secondary Specialization. Captains gain access to our new Strategist Secondary Specialization in Season 11.5. Skilled Strategists are masters, or strategists, I say strategist Secondary Specialization. Skilled Strategists are masters of planning military action, issuing orders to anticipate and match the ever-changing flow of battle. The Strategist Specialization embraces this fluidity, offering a selection of abilities which can shift between offensive and defensive effects at will. Now, this one I haven't read about yet. So this is a new specialization. So where you have the commando, the intelligence, the pilot, and what's the other one? I always forget the name of it. It's like it starts with a C, and I've forgotten the name of it. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The those specialist things you can put specialist points in. It looks like they've got a whole nother one here we can branch out in. Strategists make heavy use of the new Threatening Stance ability, which is also being added as part of Season 11.5 skill revamp, to determine what effects to give. While Threatening Stance is on, Strategist abilities focus on giving captains additional defensive benefits when healed by themselves or others, letting others stay in the fray longer. While Threatened Stance is off, the Strategist focuses on giving themselves enhanced regeneration offensive potential, letting them take down threats faster. Here are a few examples of the new abilities you can earn from the Strategist Secondary Specialization. Most abilities within this specialization function differently based on whether Threatening Stance is turned on or off. Oh, okay, I wonder what Threatening Stance is going to be under then. That's interesting. Threatening Stance on, gain 5% of incoming hull healing as temporal hull. This stacks up to 10 times. Threatening Stance off, gain 1% critical hit chance when healed. Further healing refreshes this effect. Show of Force. Threatening Stance on increases incoming healing by 10%. Threatening Stance off, gain 2% critical hits. I guess Threatening Stance. I bet Threatening Stance is a skill. So just like the trees are in the specializations here, you turn the skill. The skill is either on or off. There's not levels of skill anymore. You don't have, well, I guess you do in a way, because you have tiers. You have like tier 1, 2, or 3 now, but you don't have like levels in terms of turning up a skill level on a skill. It's a little different way to think about it. So if this Threatening Stance is turned on in your skill and you're using it, then that's going to affect this specialization differently than if you don't have Threatening Stance. So this is the first time that a skill feature or a skill set directly affects a specialization set. That's interesting. That's new. This is the first one of its kind here. Attrition warfare, starting stance off, reduce your bridge officer recharge times by 1% when healed, or if it's off, increase shield and hold. So you have basically two different abilities of this specialization, depending on if you have threatening stance in your skills on or off. That's something that people are going to really have to pay attention to, and it may be confusing for some people. We may have to educate some people on the fact that the skills, even specialization, well, not skills, but specialization, especially this one here, can have two different types of skill, or two different types of ability based on if another ability is turned on or off. That could be confusing for some people, because now it's not just one skill or one ability. Now it depends. If you have something toggled on or off, that can create one or two different possibilities for an ability in another skill. That's very interesting, and a little confusing, to be honest. Additional abilities can be unlocked, as well as additional ranks above some of the above. As a secondary specialization, captains can purchase 15 new abilities to improve their offensive and defensive potential. Unlocking all 15 abilities gives access to the new starship trait, Unconventional Tactics, which allows captains to deal more damage while Brace for Impact is active. That's interesting, okay. The Strategist secondary specialization will land with the launch of Season 1.5, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is a secondary specialization, so it's not a primary one, so that means you still have to have a primary one, and then this one becomes your secondary. And as we know, Commando is a secondary only one, and so this will be another secondary only. Intelligence is primary or secondary, and then the other one I think is also either primary or secondary. Commando for sure is secondary only, and so this new strategist specialization will be secondary only, just like Commando. But this seems to be, I guess, a space-based one. So where Commando is ground-based, this is a space-based version, perhaps, of that, or something like that. Okay, well, so another specialization to grind for. I don't think that is unexpected. I think that people probably expected that, more grind. If Cryptic can put it in there, or PWE, ordering Cryptic to do it, because, gosh, we don't like grind. But if they can find a way to put more grind in there, they'll do it. And so that's what we're going to get, is another specialization to grind. Lovely. Okay, next here. Our Season 11.5 update continues to expand upon our Admiralty system with the addition of the Romulan Republic campaign. This campaign offers players a new group of Admiralty assignments to assist the Romulan Republic, with focus on offering players crafting rewards, as well as the RRW Zedinia Epic Quality Admiralty ship. Now, the Admiralty system is another grind in this game. However, it does yield very good rewards. I really like the Federation one because it rewards specialization points. If you do the tour, the 10-piece tour, you get 2 spec points for that, just completing that tour. And then it seems to go faster, I think, than the Klingon one. And so you end up actually leveling up more with the Federation one, which means you get more spec points with it. So I do like the current Federation Admiralty system, and then they have the Klingon one. That one rewards dilithium when you do the tour. Like I said, I think it's a little slower than the Federation one. The rewards aren't as big, but still together, combined, I think they have been they've been helpful for me. They've given me a lot of spec points I would not have had originally, because I don't go on those characters and just grind out missions and stuff like that to earn spec points, to level up, continuing past 60 to get spec points. So I've been using the Admiralty system to get spec points, and it's something really cool because I can go in just once a day and set up all my Admiralty stuff, go in the next day, acknowledge all the reports, and then add more Admiralty, and just keep going on and on. I don't even have to play on the character. I can just use the Admiralty system to keep giving me spec points. So I have liked that. And of course they had the Federation, they had the Klingon, so it makes sense now that they're going to give us the third faction, the Romulan. So this talks a little bit about it. Completing tours of duty for the Romulan Republic will reward players with 3 Romulan Republic Universal Tech upgrades. Okay. These tech upgrades cost no dilithium to use and give 15,000 technology points. Incredible. Romulan Republic Universal Tech upgrades have a chance to improve an item's quality, giving players another avenue, to enhance their equipment. Reaching tier 10 will give you the epic quality Zedinia. The Zedinia is an escort with a unique ability to increase both engineering and tack for every other ship on the same assignment. Wow. Okay, I like this one. So we have now the Federation that gives us spec points with the tour. We have the Klingon one, which gives us 30,000 dilithium with the tour. And now the Romulan one is going to give us this universal tech upgrade that costs no dilithium to use and will give you 15,000 technology points and will improve or have a chance to improve the item's rarity as well. That is a great reward. So all 3 together, you can really enhance and improve your character without even playing missions. You can just sit there and do the Admiralty system every day. And you can upgrade your equipment, and you can get that lithium, and you can get spec points, and you can upgrade your, skill points, of course, and your level if you're a lower level or whatever. I like the Admiralty system. Now, it's a grind. That's what it is. But it is a useful grind. It rewards some pretty good stuff. So unlike the DOF system, which did reward, crafting materials, the DOF system in skill point, it was very, very small. But the Admiralty system seems to be giving much larger skill point rewards and really, really making a difference. And I like it. So I'm going to say this is a positive move here. Even though it's another grind, it's positive. All right. Be on the lookout, captains. The Nakul are invading. With Season 11.5, team up and take down the enemy in our latest Nakul Red Alerts. We'll have more details for you in the upcoming blog. Okay, so it looks like, there's no link here, so I can't click it. It looks like, just like we have Tholian Red Alerts, we have Borg Red Alerts, and we're now going to have the Nakul Red Alerts. Nakul are going to be a threat in the galaxy. So prepare to fight them. I do not know what type of weapons they use and all that type of stuff. So we'll have to figure out like what their energy type is and what they like to use. So that way we can build a defense against them. And I don't know what abilities they'll use. I'm guessing I don't know if it's going to be current timeline Nakul or if it's going to be a future Nakul, like Nakul from the 28th, 29th, or 31st century. I don't know what time period these Nakul are going to be from. But I look forward to fighting with them. And like that'll be interesting to find out. We'll just have to find out what kind of energy types they use and what abilities they use so we can defend against it. So that is just some of the stuff there. Strategist specialization, Romulan Admiralty campaign. Here we go. Here's another new thing that wasn't listed there, but this is another new thing coming for Season 11.5, which I'm actually very excited about, and you can see a picture of it here. This is new visual slots for our ships. With Season 11.5, we're adding new and long-requested feature from captains who wanted greater control over the appearance of their ship. Captains will now be able to equip deflectors, impulse engines, and shields in the new Visuals tab to modify the visual appearance of their ship without using the stats or set bonuses of those items. The items equipped in the slots in the Visual tab override the appearance of any matching item that is normally equipped. This will let captains use the equipment that suits their playstyle, while simultaneously allowing them to customize their ship's appearance with the equipment that suits their tastes. For example, if you like the look of the Romulan shield, but like the stats of the Nukaris shield, you'll be able to get the best of both by equipping the Nukaris shield to your ship and the Romulan shield to your Visual tab. Only deflectors, impulse engines, and shields that modify the appearance of your ship can be equipped in the Visuals tab. While equipped in the Visuals tab, the visuals cannot be disabled either. The Visual tab works with loadouts and with automated equipment transfers to newly commissioned ships. I am highly looking forward to this feature. I've been wanting a feature like this for a long time. Basically what they're doing is separating the visuals from the stats and bonuses. So you can have whatever primary deflector, impulse engine, shield you want on your ship, to use. Like a lot of people as an escort or a tactical character like to use the Iconian space set because it's very good for DPS, and it has a very, very good team DPS ability that will increase your DPS. It's a very, very good set for tactical escort characters. So you could use that as your primary space set and benefit from all those bonuses. However, let's say you don't like the looks of the Iconian set. It's got this weird kind of pattern it adds on your ship. Let's say you don't like that and you want your ship to look like something different. Okay, let's say you like like it said here, the Riemann shield and how it makes your ship look. Well, you could put the Riemann shield in the shield visual here, and that would override the visual of the Iconian shield you have enabled, and then make your ship look like it's running a Riemann shield, even though it would not be. You would still have all the same stats and everything of the Iconian set. It's just that it would look like that. It's just pulling the visuals off of that, which I really like. That means finally we can have assimilated looking ships using the Borg deflector, impulse, and shield, and have our ship look assimilated if you like that look, but not have the stats of that set. You can have the stats of another set that works better for you. This has been a long time feature I've been wanting forever, the ability to customize the visuals in this way. So I am happy to have this feature. I cannot wait for it. This makes all of the reputation equipment that I've ground for in the past useful to me, because it all just kind of sits in my bank and I don't get to use it because I've kind of found the sets that I like using on my ship. So I can't benefit in any way from those other sets, but now I can mix and match the visuals from those other sets on my ship and try to make something looking unique. That is awesome to me. I'm excited about that. I can't wait. I'm going to have some fun with that. So yeah, that's good. I'm very happy about that. Glad that's here. The only thing I would say is that now that they're going to do this and separate visuals and have the ability for us to customize visuals, they need to put more visuals in the sets, because they've released a lot of mission sets that don't have visuals. Like you look back to the Soul Defense system, I like the Soul Defense set that they released in an Iconian mission. That's a pretty good set for an engineer, actually, especially all epiced up and everything. However, there is no visual for the shield. There is a visual for the impulse engine, but there's no deflector impulse, there's no deflector visual, and there's no shield visual. They just don't have it. Then you go look at the Solanace set. That's a good set for a science character, except there's no visuals at all for that set, just none. So, they kind of have slacked off a bit in putting visuals in these sets for missions. So I would hope that they maybe go back and revamp some of those rewards in those missions and put visuals in them. Now that they have the ability here for us to have visuals on our ship separated from sets, and they're making that an actual feature, I want them to go back and put visuals in those sets that don't have visuals, so that we can have something there, and to, in the future, continue to put new visuals in new sets. Don't leave us hanging there. We need those new visuals. Now you're making it a feature. You're making it important. So now you have to do your job, Cryptic, and put those visuals in those sets as well. Moving on, a Na'Kul lockbox. I actually did not see this coming at all. I knew the Na'Kul were going to be a big part of, I guess, this whole temporal Cold War thing, but I didn't think they would go to the level of putting in a Na'Kul lockbox. But apparently, we're getting a Na'Kul lockbox. Is that too op? I mean, at one point I would have said the Iconian lockbox was too op, but here is the Na'Kul now. So I guess nothing is too op anymore. So here you go. Ships galore, I'm guessing. That looks like a cool ship. Infiltrators and saboteurs, rogue agents of the Na'Kul, have become a scourge of the timelines that must be stopped at all costs. Temporal agents from many timelines have faced off against these dangerous and determined foes, and few have managed to escape the confrontations unscathed. Their ability to manipulate the local time stream has resulted in tactics and abilities never seen before, and makes stopping their machinations a difficult task to accomplish. As if it weren't enough, they have proven unscrupulous enough to make widespread use of biological weapons. Oh, the Nukul are that kind of people, huh? Despite the ferocity of such foes, brave agents from across the time streams have been making headway in the ongoing battles that rage throughout time itself. Perhaps turning their own technology against them will be enough to reverse our fortunes back in favor of the Temporal Accords. Excuse me. The Nukul made their first appearance in the two-part Enterprise episode Stormfront. You know, I'm going to have to go back and watch Stormfront, because if I'm not mistaken, that was the two-part episode of Enterprise that I think most fans hated to death, because here's Archer, spoiler alert, going into the past, into like the 40s of World War II and meeting space Nazis. It was literally that. Terrible episode. So I may have kind of phased out of that episode. No pun intended. So I might have to rewatch that episode just to remind myself of what the Nukul were like in the TV show. They might be different here in the game, but at least I can kind of try to reminisce about what they were like in the TV show. So I may pull that up and watch that. Having been tossed into Earth's distant past, Captain Archer and his crew came face to face with these nefarious time travelers as they attempted to undermine Earth's history and prevent the eventual formation of the United Federation of Planets. Aside from their opposition to the Temporal Accords, the television shows were never able to delve into the background of this apparently villainous people. The potential for storytelling was ripe for exploration in Star Trek Online, so we leapt at the opportunity to explain their history and motivations. So yeah, they were not explored in the TV show, but the game has taken up the mantle to explore this species and give them a background, basically. After losing their homeworld to the machinations of the Tholian Assembly, the Nukul people underwent a terrible transformation as they were forced into refugee status among the stars. They hold the Federation responsible for this loss, since it was they that failed to fulfill their promise of protecting the Nukul. Now, across multiple time streams, some of the refugees and remnants of this once peaceful people have become assassins and shock troopers, with the large purpose of destroying the Temporal Accords and using time travel to erase the tragedies of the past. Throughout the numerous confrontations players have had with the Nukul, you have seen the extent of their unique abilities and some of the interesting ways they utilize time manipulation to serve their needs. And now, with the introduction of the Nukul lockbox, these powerful abilities and more can be obtained and used against them in this fight for time itself. So the Nukul have a beef to settle with the Federation. They blame us for everything. Even 800 years in the future, they still blame us, which I think is a little ridiculous. I think, over time, they would have come to their senses, but the fact that they've only gotten meaner over time, I don't know if that's really believable or not, but it is what it is. That's what we're getting. I do also wonder how they connect to the, to the Krenim, because we've got Noi out there who has kind of allied with them in a way. And I do wonder how they're going to connect to the Krenim. Or if they do at all. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Upon opening a Nukul lockbox, players may find themselves fortunate enough to win a Nukul Tidari Raider. So it's a Raider Tier 6. No ship in the Nukul fleet is more representative of their focus on speed and agility. These Raiders employ hit-and-run tactics by combining their incredible speeds with battle cloak technology. Okay. Tidari Raiders come fitted with both a Lieutenant Universal Intel and a Lieutenant Commander Universal Pilot Specialization Bridge Officer seat. They are also equipped with a Plasma Discharge Array Universal Console, which is capable of firing an unfocused short, large plasma barrage in a wide arc up to twice in rapid succession. Enemy starships caught in either blast will suffer heavy plasma damage and become vulnerable to further hits from any subsequent plasma barrage. So it sounds like their energy type is going to be plasma. If that's the case, then simple Borg defenses will work against plasma. Anything that can defend against plasma damage. Finishing the Starship Mastery Path on the Nakul Tadari Raider grants captains access to the following starship traits: Spoils of the Victor. While slotted, defeating any enemy will grant a hull and shield heal over time effect. Okay. Now, what's next? Oh, here's a science vessel. Available on the Low by Crystal store, players will now be able to purchase a Nakul Dimish science vessel. The Dimosh is known for the confusion it can cause on the battlefield through use of misdirection and subterfuge. It is capable of employing a great number of science abilities to wreak havoc and weaken its foes, and like all Nakul ships, is capable of activating a battle cloak. The starship features Commander Tactical Intel and Lieutenant Engineering Pilot Specialization Bridge Officer seats, as well as a Temporal Distress Beacon console. When activated, the Nakul vessel will call in a time slip duplicate of itself from another time stream. While the duplicate is in place, the caster is immune to all damage. However, the effects end immediately if the time slip duplicate is destroyed. After achieving level 5 in the Nakul Dimish Science Vessel Starship Mastery, you will unlock the following trait. Scavenger Beam increases the damage of Tractor Beam. Well, that's an interesting kind of trait. Who really uses the Tractor Beam to do damage? I mean, I know it can do damage, and there are in fact secondary deflectors that will add radiation damage to Tractor Beam, but I've never used the Tractor Beam as an outright offensive weapon. I've always used it to like help hold my enemy while I pound on them with a gravity well and other mean things, but I've never used it to like offensively do damage to my enemy. But this starship trait seems to offensively do damage to the enemy through the Tractor Beam. So that's interesting, using the Tractor Beam as a weapon. Okie dokie. Wonder if that would also work with Tractor Beam Repulsor. I'm not sure. Now, one thing I want to note between these two ships so far before we go to the next one is I'm noticing some similarities in other ships that are already in the game. Maybe this is just me, or maybe I'm making connections that don't exist, or maybe I have something here, but these two ships sound like ships we already have in the game. When I look at the Raider here, and it talks about the hit and run tactics, isn't that the same thing that is it the Balkan Raiders or the Tholian Raiders? You know, the ones I'm talking about, those little Tholian Raiders that will ram you, and they do like kinetic damage or whatever. And you can actually, I think you can fly those as well. I think you can get one of those to use. Isn't that the Iconians tactic, hit and run? Don't those do that? I mean, does that not sound familiar to you? Now, they don't cloak. This one cloaks, but that kind of sounds familiar to me. They do pop out of gateways, so in a way they could kind of cloak, because they could pop out of a gateway right in front of you and then slam into you. So in a way, it's the same effect. Even if it's not the same technology, it's the same effect. So my question is, does this Raider sound like that Iconian ship that keeps hitting you all the time, ramming you? To me, it does. And then when I look at this ship, and it says that it uses science for confusion, misdirection, and subterfuge. It's in a great number of science abilities. Well, that reminds me of, you know their name in Voyager in the Delta Quadrant. Gosh, I just forgot their name. The one that the Doctor deals with a lot. Not the Hazari. It's not the Collective. Oh man, I can't believe I just forgot the name of them. The ones that use the science abilities, the science ships, they use a lot of intel abilities. Basically, is my point. The something. I am drawing a complete blank. I apologize. But you guys know the ships I'm talking about. They're the ones in the Delta Quadrant. They're the ones that the Doctor has dealt with a lot. They're the ones where they watched in on the Doctor's daydreams in that one Voyager episode and thought it was all real, and the Doctor had to play the role of captain on the ship with his photonic cannon thing or whatever. In the game, they use intel powers, a lot of science abilities, as misdirection, as subterfuge, as confusion. So when I read that's what this ship does, it just reminds me of those ships. Like, they already have ships that do that. Just reminds me of a ship that already exists. That's all. So I'm not sure if that's really, really, really unique. Now, and this other ability, this Temporal Distress Beacon Universal Console, well, that reminds me of the Time Ship ability on the Temporal Dreadnought, and also the Wells class and the Mobius class. Is it the Mannheim one? The one where it creates a future version of your ship. Excuse me, a future version of your ship and a past version of your ship. It's two duplicates of your ship. And in the past, if the past version died, it would kill you. But they changed it so that if the past version dies, now you don't die. So in a way, you're invulnerable to whatever is happening to those two duplicates. But it sounds like that. It says here, when activated, the Nakul vessel will call in a time slip duplicate of itself from another time stream. So basically, it's just another duplicate of itself. The effect is the same, even if it's different technology. The effect is the same. It's a duplicate of this ship. Well, the Mannheim device on the Paradox or the Wells class or the Mobius, well, it's the same thing. It's a duplicate of itself. That's the same effect. So do y'all see some similarities there? Like maybe they're just repeating themselves? Oh, maybe Cryptic is stuck in a Mobius loop. That would be a terrible thing. Anyway, that doesn't sound too unique to me. It just seems like we've had that before. So I'm not seeing where that's like really special yet. Maybe they didn't put enough thought into that or think about that. All right, let's talk about the last ship here, the battle cruiser. Finally, the Nakul lockbox also contains a chance to win the Nakul Akaros battle cruiser. This incredibly rare Tier 6 starship has a small chance to be rewarded in place of low-buy crystals when opening the lockbox. Every lockbox has the chance of containing this ultra-rare prize. In addition to any other prize you also receive, giving exceedingly lucky players the opportunity to acquire 2 separate ships from opening a single box. The foreboding silhouette of the Akaros class battlecruiser was designed to instill fear into those that behold it. I don't know. It looks a lot like a Kobali ship to me. That long front end on it. It's a little more sleekly designed, but the coloring and that long front end really looks like a Kobali ship, which wasn't that menacing. This agile battlecruiser is capable of appearing out of nowhere to deliver a devastating barrage of weapon fire, thanks to its ability to use battle cloak. So the Nakul use battle cloak. Well, big deal. The Klingons use battle cloak. I mean, that's not a huge feature, really. They're pimping battle cloak like it's a big thing here, but that's not new. Again, that's something we have now. That's not unusual. The Akros is not as durable as many ships of its class, but it compensates by having a very high level of maneuverability. So a maneuverable battle cruiser. But if it's from the future, why would it not be durable? I don't know. Just cause. The starship features a Lieutenant Tactical Pilot and Lieutenant Commander Universal Intel Specialist Bridge Officer seat. It is also outfitted with an unstable entanglement platform. Once deployed, this fearsome device will draw in nearby enemies with a powerful tractor beam. Once an enemy starship gets close to the platform, it will explode, dealing heavy kinetic damage that bypasses a portion of enemy shields. Additionally, after this platform explodes, or is otherwise destroyed, it will leave behind a harmful radiation cloud that deals heavy shield damage over time, as well as some shield penetration radiation damage. Okay, now that sounds unique. That's finally an ability I haven't heard of before. So basically a platform with tractor beams that pull in enemies and destroy them, and then when it explodes, leaves a cloud of radiation. That's kind of cool. Completing level 5 gives you access to Temporal Ally. When damaged, while a shield facing is dangerously low, a Temporal Ally appears. When a Temporal Ally is summoned, become briefly immune to damage. A Temporal Ally also fights alongside you for a moderate duration. So again, another duplicate of yourself. Or not necessarily a duplicate, but just another Temporal Ally. I mean, there's a lot of allies out there, apparently. I mean, you've got Photonic Fleet. Those are allies. You got when you're low on health, you can enable that fleet ability. So you get, a ship that comes in and helps you. That one actually does a lot to help you. It stays around for a while, too. You've got, with the temporal ships, you've got, the Mannheim. There's just there's other kind of like allies out there. So this is not a really unique feature here. This is kind of something I've seen before, just presented in a different way. All three of the aforementioned consoles may be fitted on any Nukul ships and will offer additional set bonuses if so equipped. Equipping two of the consoles grants a passive increase to plasma energy and plasma projectile damage, as well as a recharge reduction for all tactical, intel, and pilot bridge officer abilities. If all three consoles are equipped, the vulnerability bonus inflicted by the first hit of a plasma barrage is doubled, making all subsequent plasma barrage hits that much more deadly. So basically doing more damage with the plasma energy stuff here. So it looks like plasma is going to be the build type for Nukul ships. You want to have a plasma build. Players may also find a console universal plasma wave within the Nukul box. This universal console, though not part of the aforementioned set, may be equipped on any starship, granting it a powerful forward-facing attack that requires a few seconds to charge up. This console also passively increases outgoing plasma damage from all sources and weapon subsystem power. Plasma all the way. Plasma is the way to go with the Nukul here. 4 new genetic sequencers. Got active rerouting ground. Activating a kit module has a small chance of restoring a moderate amount of shield. When damaged by a foe within melee range, issue burst of radiation damage that hits all nearby foes. Activating the bridge officer ability has a chance of restoring a moderate amount of shields. When damaged by any torpedo or mine, issues a burst of radiation damage. So those are some traits. Based upon salvage Nukul technology, 3 entirely new universal kit modules can also be rewarded when opening a box. You've got Crawler Swarm. Summon a number of mobile biotoxin mines that will seek out nearby foes before exploding. Explosions deal kinetic damage and leave behind a harmful toxic cloud. That sounds like the space thing. Biotoxin Injection, only usable in melee range, deals a large amount of toxic damage and reduces the target's movement speed. If used from a flanking position, the foe will also be stunned for a long duration. As if it wasn't easy enough to kill Armech already, they gave us another way to melee Armech here and do some more damage to him. Lovely. Phasic Shroud grants a large amount of temporary hit points. While the temp HP is in place, you also gain increased dodge and a small amount of stealth. Your movement speed is slightly reduced. After learning about the diabolical warfare being waged by their future descendants, some daring Nukul from the 2410 timeline have decided to resist these efforts and enlist with their forces defending the galaxy and the temporal accords. These Nukul warfare specialist duty officers possess unique active roster abilities that will all occasionally restore your health or hull during combat. Each warfare specialist will grant this bonus from one of the following types of ability activation: tactical bridge officer abilities, engineering bridge officer, science bridge officer, kit module, and captain abilities. The final new prize being introduced with the Nukul lockbox is a chronoplasma weapon pack. Each time this package is opened, you may choose whether to receive a random beam cannon or ground weapon. These plasma energy weapons caused a localized agitation of space-time upon impact, sometimes manifesting as a superheated burning which causes damage over time and also slows the enemy movement by causing a sort of temporal friction at the impact site. They are just making this stuff up, temporal friction. Yeah. In addition to all the aforementioned prizes, new items are arriving in the low-buy crystal store. Captains may choose to acquire a powerful new ground weapon, the Nukul Assassin Plasma Blade. This melee weapon is infused with plasma energy, causing additional plasma damage with each strike. In addition to this, the tertiary attacks, usually reserved for palm strike, is replaced with a cone area ranged attack that can damage and expose multiple enemies. If targeted at an exposed enemy, this attack automatically changes into a devastating cylinder blast, sending high-intensity plasma energy for a long range to damage everyone in a straight line and to exploit the primary target. If wielding their weaponry is not enough, you may also choose to outfit yourself in a cool operative uniform. This package contains various uniform pieces and accessories seen worn by Nakul ground forces, and can be mixed and matched with other existing uniform pieces. It can be worn by any species and any gender. So let's take a look at this real quick. Okay, so it looks like they've got Klingon outfit here, and some kind of eyepiece, eyeglasses that really don't look very comfortable at all. I guess that's an alright uniform. Here's the Gorn. Here's a Federation uniform. I don't know why there'd be a Nakul Federation uniform though, because they're not in the Federation. Here's another Federation uniform, and then here's just the Nakul uniform itself. The Federation variant, I don't know why there would be a Federation variant, because there are no Nakul in the Federation. They hate the Federation, so that's kind of weird. Okay, well, I mean, I'll probably end up getting the costume anyway, because I'm a fiend for costumes and I like new things like that. Lastly, to support the recent addition of the Admiralty system, the Low-Buy store will now be offering Admiralty system booster packs. Ooh, okay. Purchasable from the Device and Consumables tab. Each package costs only 5 Low-Buy, and in return will reward you with 3 assignment pass tokens, as well as a chance at a random Tier 6 one-time use Admiralty ship. The Nakul lockbox, like its predecessors, includes a chance at winning a full-size R&D pack, as well as many different numeric boost and bonus pools. However, in the interest of continuing to improve the perceived value of opening each lockbox, we have decided to remove a number of less desirable numeric boosts and distribute those odds out to other more sought-out prizes. Duty Officer CXP bonus pools, R&D experience bonus pools, and catalysts have all been removed, leaving only the remaining prizes. You've got Fleet Credit bonus pools, Fleet Mark bonus pools, Reputation Mark bonus pools, Extra Special VIP Customer, and Salvage Technology. We're excited to release these new things on April 12th. So that's a lot right there just in the box. Now the boxes are a gamble. They always are. They always will be. The chance of getting that ultra rare ship is probably going to be not very good. There was a time that I once opened 300 lock boxes and got no ship, period. So you can spend a lot of money on lock boxes, but that gambling can really, really not be good. So I'm pretty sure that whoever wins these ships, though, will put them on the exchange, and they'll probably be extremely expensive. Especially that ultra rare one, the Akaros Battle Cruiser, probably be a very expensive ship that will be sought after. But that's the way it goes. That's the economy. Out of these 3 ships, I don't know if any of them really appeal to me right now. They sound okay, but I'm not like clamoring over one of them. I would love to try them out and review them, but it's not like I have a yearning to get all of them immediately. I don't see anything about them that really compels me to them at the moment. Maybe my mind will change. I don't know. But right now, nothing really compels me. They're not really that compelling at the moment. But that's just my initial opinion without even playing with them. Anyway, that's coming. That's the lockbox anyway. Season 11.5, guys, right around the corner. It's here. A couple of days. By the time this video goes up, actually a day. So it's going to be there. I'm really looking forward to the new episode. I mean, I like playing the new missions, and I like seeing what the rewards will be in that mission itself, because of course I'll replay it and get all the rewards for it. So that part of it I like. And I am looking forward to the visual updates to the ship, so I can customize my visuals, because I like doing that. I like new costumes, new visuals, and things like that. I like the change to the skill revamp. I actually am positive about it, unlike a lot of people are very worried about it. I'm very positive about it. I think that skill change is going to be a good thing, and I look forward to seeing how that turns out. And I guess we'll play everything else. We'll see how the Nikul red alerts look. We will see how the, we'll do the Romulan Admiralty system. We'll do another specialization thing to grind out, and everything else. We just keep moving on. Again, if you really don't like time travel, this season 11.5 is not going to be for you. But if you do like time travel, then it is for you, because it's all about time travel. If you did not like the Temporal Cold War story in Enterprise, well, that's what we're getting. So you either didn't like it, or you liked it, or you didn't really care. Either way, that is the direction that they have chosen to go with now, is this Temporal Cold War stuff. They're pulling it straight from the Enterprise series, which a lot of people view as a low point in the Enterprise series, the whole Temporal Cold War thing. But yet Star Trek Online is pulling from that, and they are expanding upon that. So that is where it's going. That's where this story is that's what this story is exploring. This whole season, from season 11 onwards here, we're in the Temporal Cold War. We're a part of it. So that's a thing. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say about that as well. I don't know. I can't remember what I was going to say. The only question I have remaining right now with the whole Temporal Cold War thing is how are they going to bring the sphere builders into it? Because apparently Noi is in cahoots with the sphere builders. In this timeline, they have changed, and they are like more powerful or something in some kind of different dimension. And they caused a real big problem for Archer and crew in Enterprise. Question is, are they going to in Star Trek Online? We know that there's going to be a big war with them in the future. What century was that? Was it the 26th century? I want to say it was the 26th century that Daniels brought Archer forward in time to witness on the Enterprise J. I think that was the 26th century. If that's the 26th century, we're literally only like 100 years away from that war in Star Trek Online time. So it's not out of reason that maybe we might time travel to the future in Star Trek Online to just even see that war again. Wouldn't that be a nice tie-in with the show? So I do wonder how all that's going to work out. The sphere builders coming in and how that connects to the Nikul and this whole thing. And there seems to be a pretty good amount of storytelling ability there. I just hope they can execute that storytelling ability. I think this would make epic television. This kind of story this actually is not a bad storyline. I would love to see this on TV or a movie or something. This is actually a pretty epic story. There's a lot here a lot of potential you can pull from and do. So this is actually kind of cool. I like the story a lot. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Thank you all for watching this news. More stuff comes out on Monday. I'll make another video. More stuff on Tuesday. I'll make another one. And of course, once all the cool stuff comes out, I will get to it. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.